Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins are currently at the center of one of the most explosive rumors shaking the NFL, and the epicenter of this storm is none other than Tyreek Hill. The wide receiver, who has long been regarded as one of the most electrifying playmakers in the league, recently dropped a bombshell that has left fans, analysts, and even fellow players in shock. According to sources close to the team, Hill revealed that he refuses to play alongside quarterback Tua Tagovailoa anymore, citing a toxic environment that has been festering within the Dolphins' locker room for months. This revelation has sent ripples throughout the league, as the Dolphins have consistently been considered one of the top teams in terms of offensive talent, with Hill and Tagovailoa forming what many expected to be an unstoppable duo. But the cracks have become impossible to ignore, and whispers of internal strife are now front-page news in football circles, with insiders suggesting that the feud is deeper than a mere clash of personalities. The drama reportedly escalated during practice sessions and team meetings, where Hill allegedly expressed frustration with Tagovailoa's leadership style and decision-making, pointing out that his approach has alienated key players and created factions within the team. The tension between Hill and Tagovailoa is not just a personal matter. It seems to have permeated the entire Dolphins organization. Sources indicate that Hill's comments about the quarterback being widely disliked by his teammates reflect a broader sentiment in the locker room. Players, according to these leaks, have reportedly felt isolated or undervalued, leading to a divide that threatens to undermine the team's cohesion. The Dolphins, who were projected to make a strong playoff push this season, now face uncertainty not only on the field but in their internal dynamics, where trust and collaboration appear to be eroding. Social media has exploded with reactions, fans taking sides in what seems to be a scandal bigger than most expected. Analysts are scrambling to reassess the Dolphins' offensive outlook, with questions arising about how the team can function effectively if its star receiver and quarterback are at odds. The situation has even caught the attention of rival teams, who reportedly see an opportunity to exploit the Dolphins' internal instability, potentially reshaping the dynamics of upcoming games. Conversations around the league suggest that if the conflict remains unresolved, it could lead to drastic roster changes or even influence contract negotiations in the near future. Insiders claim that the Hill-Tagovailoa feud has been quietly simmering for months, perhaps even since the offseason, but only recently did it reach a boiling point that could no longer be contained. Practices, which are supposed to be a time for strategy and teamwork, became arenas of tension, with reports suggesting that Hill openly criticized Tagovailoa in front of other teammates. Such behavior, while shocking, seems to underscore a larger pattern of dissatisfaction, as players reportedly feel that the quarterback has failed to foster unity within the squad. Moreover, the alleged discontent is not limited to veterans. Even newer members of the roster are said to have sensed a disconnect, creating a ripple effect that has affected performance, morale, and the overall perception of the Dolphins as a top contender. Rumors suggest that coaching staff have attempted interventions behind closed doors, but sources indicate that these measures may have been too little, too late, leaving the team vulnerable to both public scrutiny and internal collapse. The potential consequences of this turmoil extend beyond a single game or season, with league insiders hinting that the Dolphins could experience long-term repercussions if this discord is not addressed immediately, potentially altering trade strategies, draft picks, and team leadership decisions in the months to come. What's particularly intriguing is the timing of Hill's revelation, as it comes at a critical point in the NFL season. Fans and commentators are left to wonder whether this is a strategic move on Hill's part, an expression of genuine frustration, or a combination of both. The public nature of the claim, that Tagovailoa is widely disliked, adds fuel to speculation that this could be more than just an internal matter. Social media chatter has exploded, with hashtags trending, memes circulating, and debates flaring between supporters of Hill and Tagovailoa. The narrative has all the makings of a media storm, with sports journalists scrambling to verify details while insiders drop hints that the locker room atmosphere has been deteriorating for months. Some reports even suggest that team meetings have become tense affairs, with players reportedly choosing sides and coaches struggling to maintain authority. The psychological impact on the team cannot be understated. Analysts warn that prolonged exposure to this level of internal conflict could impair focus, decision-making, and ultimately, on-field performance, casting doubt on the Dolphins' ability to compete at the highest level while managing such a publicized feud. The Dolphins' front office is reportedly aware of the gravity of the situation and is allegedly considering several options to mitigate the fallout. According to insiders, discussions have been taking place regarding potential trades, adjustments to coaching responsibilities, and even mediation sessions between Hill and Tagovailoa to salvage the professional relationship. However, sources hint that Hill's stance might be unwavering, suggesting that he could seek a departure from the team if conditions do not improve. The possibility of losing one of their star players has caused a stir among management, who must weigh the long-term implications of keeping a star receiver in a hostile environment against the potential damage to the team's reputation. Complicating matters, the rumor mill suggests that other Dolphins players are quietly aligning themselves with either Hill or Tagovailoa, which could exacerbate divisions if not carefully managed. This type of internal politics is not uncommon in professional sports, but the public nature of Hill's statements has escalated the situation beyond typical locker room disputes, creating a narrative that now dominates headlines and fuels endless speculation among fans and pundits alike. Even league executives are reportedly paying attention, with insiders suggesting that the Dolphins' crisis could have ripple effects across the NFL. The tension between Hill and Tagovailoa is not merely a team matter. It represents a cautionary tale about player relations, leadership, and the management of egos in high-stakes environments. Sources indicate that rival teams are quietly monitoring the situation, potentially eyeing trade opportunities or preparing strategies to exploit any perceived weakness on the field. Meanwhile, fan engagement has skyrocketed, with social media platforms flooded with passionate debates and hypothetical scenarios about the future of the Dolphins roster. The story has all the hallmarks of a blockbuster NFL saga, combining superstar personalities, allegations of discontent, and the very real possibility of dramatic roster changes. As the Dolphins navigate this turbulent period, insiders stress that the coming weeks will be critical in determining whether the team can stabilize, reconcile differences, and refocus on performance, or whether the Hill-Tagovailoa feud will continue to dominate headlines and shape the future trajectory of the franchise. The fallout from Tyreek Hill's shocking revelation has begun to ripple far beyond the Miami Dolphins locker room, capturing the attention of fans, analysts, and rival teams alike. According to insiders, the drama has created an environment where even casual interactions between players are tinged with caution and suspicion as teammates navigate the awkward landscape of divided loyalties. Reports suggest that Hill's public statement about refusing to play alongside Tua Tagovailoa has emboldened other players who may have quietly harbored similar frustrations, giving rise to murmurs that the locker room is fragmented in ways previously unimaginable. This alleged internal turmoil has raised serious questions about the Dolphins' ability to execute complex offensive schemes, maintain focus during games, and sustain morale through the pressures of the NFL season. Analysts speculate that if these tensions continue to escalate, the team could experience a drop in performance metrics such as completion rates, red zone efficiency, and third down conversions, directly impacting their playoff prospects. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly studying every available tape and insider report, hoping to exploit the psychological and strategic vulnerabilities exposed by the conflict. The media frenzy surrounding Hill's comments has only magnified the situation, fueling speculation about potential trades, contract renegotiations, and the very real possibility that the Dolphins' season could unravel if no resolution is reached soon. Insiders reveal that the alleged rift between Hill and Tagovailoa has prompted behind-the-scenes discussions within the Dolphins' coaching staff, as they scramble to contain the damage before it fully translates to on-field consequences. Coaches are reportedly facing a dual challenge: maintaining authority while addressing the personal grievances that have now become public, and doing so without further alienating the players involved. Sources indicate that mediation sessions have been proposed, but the success of such initiatives remains uncertain, given Hill's unwavering stance and the level of frustration reportedly shared by other team members. Meanwhile, speculation is rife that management may have begun exploring potential trades, either to move Hill to a team where he would feel more supported or to shift Tagovailoa to an environment less affected by internal dissent. Social media discussions have intensified, with fan communities dissecting every word of Hill's revelation, debating the extent to which this conflict reflects broader issues within the organization. Some commentators argue that the Dolphins' internal struggles may have been brewing unnoticed, and Hill's statements merely brought them to the surface, giving rival teams a roadmap for exploiting weaknesses that could alter the balance of power in the league. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Rumors suggest that Hill's comments have not only shaken the locker room, but also affected the team's public image, creating a narrative of dysfunction that has become difficult to ignore. Marketing executives and PR teams reportedly face the delicate task of mitigating reputational damage while addressing the concerns of fans, sponsors, and media outlets hungry for the next development. According to insiders, the Dolphins brand, once synonymous with excitement and offensive prowess, is now being questioned in the context of player relations, leadership effectiveness, and team unity. Analysts emphasize that a prolonged period of internal discord could impact ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and overall fan engagement, adding financial pressure to an already tense situation. Moreover, whispers in sports circles suggest that rival executives are quietly relishing the turmoil, seeing it as an opportunity to capitalize on Miami's instability during trade talks or free agency. The psychological impact on younger or less experienced players is also a concern, as internal conflicts of this magnitude can influence confidence, performance, and long-term development. With Hill's statements dominating headlines, the Dolphins face a critical juncture. They must either address the alleged grievances decisively or risk long-lasting consequences that could reverberate well beyond a single season, potentially reshaping the trajectory of the franchise. The alleged animosity between Hill and Tagovailoa reportedly extends beyond public statements, infiltrating practice routines, team meetings, and even travel arrangements. Sources indicate that players are acutely aware of the tension, choosing sides in ways that complicate collaboration and strategic planning. Coaches reportedly find themselves mediating disputes that affect not only morale but also tactical execution, with insiders suggesting that miscommunications and errors on the field have already begun to reflect this fractured atmosphere. Hill's influence as a superstar player means that his opinions carry significant weight, and other teammates may feel pressure to align with his perspective, consciously or subconsciously shaping the locker room culture. Analysts have highlighted that such dynamics are particularly perilous during crucial stretches of the season, when consistency, focus, and trust are paramount for success. Rumors also hint at potential ripple effects beyond the Dolphins, with league insiders speculating that this high-profile conflict could set precedents for how player power dynamics and public criticisms are managed across the NFL. Fans and media are closely watching, dissecting each interaction, tweet, or interview for evidence that the feud is escalating, and the narrative continues to dominate discussions on sports shows, podcasts, and social media threads, creating a near-constant cycle of analysis and speculation that shows no signs of abating. According to sources, the Dolphins' front office is reportedly facing a pivotal decision, whether to attempt reconciliation between Hill and Tagovailoa or to prepare for a more dramatic roster shakeup. Rumors suggest that management is weighing the costs of losing a top-tier receiver against the potential disruption of maintaining a fractured locker room, considering options that could include trades, coaching adjustments, or even renegotiated leadership roles within the team. Analysts speculate that any movement will be closely scrutinized by fans and rival teams, as the consequences of a misstep could affect both short-term performance and long-term strategic planning. Social media reactions have been intense, with fans predicting scenarios ranging from a blockbuster trade to a complete overhaul of team dynamics, while sports commentators debate the likelihood of the Dolphins successfully navigating this turbulent period. The alleged depth of the feud, combined with Hill's public remarks, has created a narrative of high-stakes drama that overshadows the normal rhythms of the NFL season. Insiders caution that without careful intervention, the team risks losing not just games, but credibility, cohesion, and confidence, potentially altering perceptions of leadership within the organization and affecting future recruitment and retention strategies. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.